Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world.
Can you hear me okay? Because it's literally on my laptop.
Yeah.
On my laptop.
No,
it's a
cool.
microphone sitting on the laptop. It's on the lap.
Yeah. No, you got it. Nice. Thanks for waking up so early to do this.
Me waking up. You woke up at the same time, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but this is normal time for me. This is like 4 a.m. for you, really.
Yeah, but 4 a.m. It's after you know what it okay. We're gonna not let the audience have this one. You can use that excuse.
Yeah.
When you're here.
Yeah.
But really, after the second or third day, excuse is gone.
Okay. All right.
The only way I'm gonna hang on to, because I got in so late.
Yeah.
On I finally got to the Airbnb at almost 2:30.
Okay.
On Thursday morning.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Right, and then it's like we started early. I think we started at 9:30 or 10.
Oof.
On Thursday. But it's kind of, and then you got your, again, it's not anything. Then you got your dinners, and then it's all the shit that goes with shows.
Yeah.
Travel in general, right? It's all the same.
Yeah.
All good in the hood, man. All good in the hood.
Yeah. Nice.
What's going
on? What's going on? Lots of things going on. What's going on?
I think I just talked to you. I feel like we just talked.
Yeah, I feel like I just talked to you. But no. Yeah, lots of good things going on. I got this agency working for me now, and that's going really well. I'm sending, you know what I'm doing that I've never done before? I'm doing LinkedIn promotions, which I have to say is new for me. Yeah.
Although I think that would make a lot of sense for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes a ton of sense.
Right? I mean, those people that are on, I told you, I still like, it's probably one of my favorite social mediums.
Yep.
And mostly because I really don't do much Facebook at all anymore. I don't even have it on the phone, the app. I mean, I check in sometimes just to bury the notifications.
Yep.
I don't use Twitter a lot these days because I just find it's too much noise.
Yeah.
So most of my time's on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I love Instagram because, like you, I just like pictures.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I kind of do like the LinkedIn format. The people there, those are the people are the people you're looking for.
Yeah. I mean, because you want to talk to them about work, and that's
what they're there for.
I'm not trying to be cheeky. I'm not trying to be super social about anything. I'm just trying to update them on what we're doing that might help them, right?
Absolutely.
So it's neat, and I delivered my first. You ever get those promotions or that email in your inbox that's called like a promoted inbox or a promoted in-mail?
Like an ad?
An ad in your inbox.
Yeah, I get it from Gmail all the time. That's hence why I've asked you numerous times. I got to get my shit organized and get off Gmail.
No. I mean in LinkedIn. I'm in LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn. Periodically, I do get those. Yes.
Yeah. So I delivered my first one this week.
And how did it go?
It was pretty awesome. It wasn't that difficult. Like it's really similar in that same sense where you've got to figure out who your audience is, and like you got to geo-target the right people and those sort of things. But
can you target down to what level?
You can target. It depends on. It depends because it depends on how big your audience size is and some of those things. Like my audience is still pretty small. It's like I think I got down to like 30,000 people. Which in social media is pretty small, right? Like
LinkedIn, that's a nice tight.
Yeah, it's pretty.
See that's to me is. I mean, even if you said 10,000, it'd be oh my god, that's like 10,000 probably solids.
Yeah, but
not like a million meh.
Yeah, well, in social media, like 10,000 is it's too small, really.
It can be.
Yeah.
Again, though, it depends what you're trying to do in the industry you're in too. Like, sorry, guy, I hate to tell you, you probably don't have 100,000 relevant people not necessarily looking for your stuff right now.
I know. So what was really cool is like, so usually I get like a 3 to 5% engagement rate on anything I do on LinkedIn. And this one I'm getting, I have a 42% engagement rate going right now.
It's insanity.
That's insanity. Yeah. 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 I
That's
mean,
insanity.
it's too early to know how many of those will turn into actual clicks and leads yet. But we'll find out, right? So
again,
yeah,
the medium you're on,
yeah,
it is in theory supposed to be more focused.
Yeah.
The people that are clicking on it, you would have to assume have some interest in that. It's not Instagram. Ooh, nice picture. Like.
Yeah.
Right. Or Facebook,
Super
which is a lot of
engaged.
noise. It's totally different.
Uh-huh.
Like for when you're doing like B2B like this, I mean, honestly, to me, I think that's the medium.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it's really cool. Like
awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited by it. How are you?
Good. Just hanging out. Had a quick shower, packed up, getting ready to bring all my shit to the show, and then I'm taking off this afternoon.
Got it.
That's it, and then we're gone, baby.
So if you haven't gathered, audience, we're recording.
Hey, we're both in Toronto, same time zone.
Yeah, we're same time zone.
This is the first time.
I
don't think we've ever been in the same time zone.
No, I don't think we have. Look at that.
Wow, this is like a milestone.
Yeah. It is.
In fact, we're still recording as a milestone, but this is like a milestone on a milestone.
I know. So we're recording. It's like it's really early Sunday morning. But Kenny's here because Kenny's here for the CHF. I can never say it right.
CHFA East.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah. How's the show going?
You know what? The show is interesting. It's sort of what we even talked about, I think, a little bit like last week. Mm-hmm. So, and this is probably the most prepared I've ever been for any of our podcasts. Mm-hmm. I thought about 10 minutes before we signed on.
Nice.
So I'm kind of like, I don't think I've ever been this ready for our show.
You with the prep work.
I actually thought a little bit, but it's funny, I mean, we were like, in all honesty, perfect. It was steady.
Okay.
People at the booth all day. Nice engagement, good people. Our peeps were doing their thing.
Yeah.
But the industry's changing, and maybe today will be different. But what I found is I had a few people say, "Oh, it's not as busy as it's been. We're not seeing as many people." And I kind of turned it around, like that's sort of what we had talked about last week. I said, guys, I bet you any money we've never seen as many stores as we have this weekend. What you're just seeing is a lot less people. Because if you go back 5 years, you might have had 100 people and they would represent 120 stores.
Okay.
Now you get 10 people and they represent 1,000 stores. Hmm. It's indicative of how the industry has changed and changing.
Yeah.
You're getting more amalgamation.
Mm-hmm. You're
getting people that just get dropped off. And you're getting more of the majors all the time into the space. Right. So what happens, I think, is I think if you're right into the industry and you're rooted into the natural health, which is awesome. It's a great industry. But I think you're losing sight of the fact that the world around is changing.
Right.
All the majors are getting into this.
Yeah.
I think online is like we talked about last week is having a definitive major play in it and changing the way the game is done because people can shop differently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I'm noticing. I think the show itself is healthy, like in terms of the product mix is very cool. But I'm starting to, I look at the industry and I start to, wonder, right? Because there's a lot of channel shifting. Yeah. But the weird thing for most of us now, it's not just channel shifting into traditional channel. There's that new, which is not that new anymore, but new-ish online medium that seems to be, it's good to discuss me thinking about how do we divvy up our business? like we are so focused on this channel, but this channel represents probably 15% of the shopping population.
Right.
Right. And really and truly probably not growing. Not the commodities, the channel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm getting at? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do. Oh, interesting.
Just it's a different dynamic, right? Because I think right now that my takeaway is we really need to focus a lot more on drug. We need to focus definitively a lot more on the online. Definitively a lot more on the online. And whether that's using other people's online platforms, or you really have to start developing your own space.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we really need to start focusing a lot more on grocery, like just normal grocery channel.
Yeah.
Right. And continue to focus on natural health because God bless them, it's small, but at least they're more the innovators than the traditional side.
Well, I mean, it's like everything else in this industry, right? You start in your own, and then all the channels get blurred, right? Like, I mean,
totally.
It used to be that grocery was grocery and drug was drug, right? Well,
that blurred 15, 20 years ago.
Drug is grocery, right? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Grocer's own drug.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. Very interesting.
So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what it's too bad you couldn't come down to the show because I'd love to have seen your perspective on it to see what you think, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's going to force a lot of people. Like even if I was a retailer now, leaving a show like this, and again, I don't know how in tune. It's like you get entrenched into what you believe or what you want to believe, and you see what you want to see.
Yeah.
But if I was an online retailer today, I'd really be looking at my online play. I really would. Whether I used my platforms to drive more people into my store, which I have no issue doing, especially if it's a very localized play, but I'd really be trying to get more people to my webpage, and ideally if they can finish that purchase at that point, that's awesome.
Right.
But I think you really need to really need to take this is going to sound silly, you're better off to close down one day of the week and move that money into buying or hiring an
e-com person.
An e-com person internally. And I'm not saying you have to pay someone $150,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right. A small business, you could probably get away with paying someone almost the same. You're paying some of your staff to help you. And that's what their focus is. They just manage that platform and those type of transactions.
Should be. I mean, I think that's how a lot of companies start, right? Is they start with someone, they tack it onto somebody's portfolio. So usually it's like if you have clubs like Costco and and so on and so forth, and then the last thing on your list is do e-commerce stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I do think it's kind of beyond that. You need your marketing people on it, right? Like you've got to make it an online play.
You got to make it a priority.
Yeah.
When if you're the store owner, you almost have to. You go in the morning. You're no longer just opening at 9 o'clock. You're not opening the physical plant. You're opening the online store.
Yeah.
Like I think you really have to. You have two stores now. So if you are a true one store owner, you actually have two stores.
Yeah.
You just really get the other one open.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a playoff we talked about. It's the whole weekend has been more the philosophical talks, and we were chatting, sort of where you and I were talking a couple weeks ago, that if you look at what Amazon has become, where Google is a wicked search engine, but where Google, and it's funny, I'm sure they'll do it, but where Google missed it, for lack of a better, is wicked search engine, and we all use the biggest search engine in the world. But Amazon search engine is growing the fastest. And again, it's like you and I said, why? I search, I get options, I can close the deal.
Yeah.
And I can close it 14 of them, and 13 of them are prime and free shipping. You know what I mean? You start doing the math, and you're thinking, Jesus, guys, you really got to get on these platforms, because it doesn't have to be Amazon. I don't care if it's Amazon. Do your webpage. Learn how to do your I think
you're quickly getting to a point where it has to be Amazon.
I don't think you have any choice. I hate to say that. I don't like going to one guy. I think
whether you sell it there or not, right? Because I've run into a lot of people that are like, no, I won't put it on Amazon. And my answer is always, look, put it on Amazon, but I wouldn't make it the best price you have. Like, but
I
I
don't think you
would
need
put it
to.
on
I
Amazon.
don't think it's got anything to do with that. I don't think it's a price play at all.
It's more about search content, right? Like,
Absolutely.
you know,
It's all about
put it
search
on
content.
there and then make it A+ content, because that's how people are going to find you, right?
That's it.
You know,
That's it. And the odds are, is I don't know how many people are price shopping on Amazon as much as searching on Amazon. And if the price feels good, I'm going to bet you most are completing transaction.
Yeah.
I really believe that. I don't think anybody's then running around and checking 17,000 places for pricing.
No, why bother?
It's defeated the purpose of what you were trying to do.
Why bother? I mean, I can have it in 24 hours if I've got Prime, right? So why wouldn't I, right? So,
and it's amazing. I ordered a bag. I needed a travel bag.
Yeah.
So when did I leave? Wednesday night. So Monday night, I'm looking, and Amelia's going, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm looking for. The other bag's getting ready to go." And I said, I need to do a carry-on bag, so I don't like checking.
Yep.
So I'm looking around, and she goes, "Yeah, but you're not going to get it before the trip." I said, "Yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're home when I come back next week." Monday night at about 10:30, I order.
Yeah.
Before 9:00, Tuesday night, it's at the front door.
Yeah.
Less than 24 hours.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
That's insanity.
Yeah. It's hilarious, right?
That's
like it's amazing.
I spent half an hour shopping because I had to find out what I wanted.
Yeah.
I searched, and all I did was search Amazon.
Yeah.
Right. Honestly, I don't know how much easier that could have. And for a last minute, I didn't expect it. I knew it wasn't going to come in because I wasn't going to go shopping the next day. Yep. Sure enough, comes in the next night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hilarious. I love it. It's so great.
But I worry about when I walk a show like this, though.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, it's healthy. The industry itself, the innovation's there. There's definitively manufacturers and producers and entrepreneurs, and there's shit there, and it's cool shit. But I felt, and I could be wrong again, I felt there was a little less.
Do you worry that guys aren't getting online fast enough? That something is going to kind of, that.
I'm worried that if you don't get your shit together fast enough, you're going to have something to worry about.
Okay.
That's what I worry about. Yeah. Because I don't. Again, I think you and I've talked about this, and again, maybe we're just because it's hard and we don't want to let go. I think there's going to be a play for bricks and mortar for many years to come.
Yeah.
Many years to come.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, you better make it compelling for me to go in.
I think, like, I mean, even these guys, right? Like, so here's the thing is, like, I think the first step in, kind of anything healthy, naturopathic is a visit in store of some sort. Because you need the curated experience, right? Because
I think so.
If I want to buy, anything, whether it's weird stuff like, well, it's not weird anymore, but like oil of oregano, right? Like all the way through the line. My first step isn't to go online. I'm going to go online and read stuff, but then I'm going to a store or I'm going somewhere where someone can correct what I've read.
Yeah, I want to just make sure what I read was.
Yeah, that's not pure bullshit. Jackass shit, right? Like I want to confirm, right? And then I may buy in the store or I may buy online, right?
Right.
And these guys, I think that's what you're talking about is this whole close the sale deal, right? It's like,
but if you made a trek to the store to ask the questions, if they don't close the deal, then I can't help them no matter what we do.
Yeah.
The whole point would be is really and truly is when you were searching online for your oil of oregano, you should have ended up on one of those people's sites, their sites. They should have provided the content so that Phil says, oh my God, ABC Health Store or Natural Pharmacy in Mississauga, that's the girl or the guy I'm running to, and they're going to help me out. And once I go there, if you don't buy, that's not necessarily an indication on you as much as that's a problem for the store.
It's a really neat situation too, because then you do have this opportunity to hold them, right? Because now you've got a curated, like, this is the experiential we keep talking about, is like,
that's an experience.
Because now I've got you, I've talked to you about it. Here's how the product's different. And then you're going to,
You're not going to
go
tell too many
online.
people.
Yeah, yeah. And then you're going to go online, and then next time you don't need to come back and ask me about oil of oregano again. But
Right.
hopefully you come back again and ask me about something else, right? And then I've got you because now you're buying from me, because by then I would have convinced you that, look, everything else on Amazon, you have no idea where it comes from. Is it ethically sourced? Is it actually
Well, whatever the story is.
whatever
Absolutely.
the story is, right? So you should be hitting my e-commerce site, and then we'll make sure we get it to you, right? Like all of those things are.
And I think that's completely valid, because if you
Yeah.
if you take a look at it, if you really want people to start thinking, do you think Amazon vets those products?
No, not at all.
So what are you buying?
Yeah,
Like, well, what do you know where you're buying?
yeah,
Amazon doesn't sit there with quality control.
nope.
If that's not Amazon's gig, Amazon just is a platform. It's basically a new retailer, where the old days you had to talk to somebody to put stuff in their store, and it was a process. And Amazon says, here's the shelves, go ahead.
Yeah, here's
But who's vetting?
Yeah, nobody.
Is a product old? Is a product new?
Yeah,
Did it fall off a truck? Was it rejected? Like, well, again, we're making it, a scary, but you don't know where that shit came from.
no, you really don't.
It could have been stored in a hot garage.
Yep.
For a year, still be good date, but
Yeah.
it's a probiotic or a vitamin's been heat damaged. Do you know?
No idea. No idea.
Right.
Really,
So,
no idea.
but if I'm a store right now, I'm serious. I would seriously get to the point where do the math and really look at the numbers and ask yourself, could I close Sundays? And because let's say money was the issue, could I close Sundays? What's the loss on that day in terms of revenue?
Yep.
But what are the savings in terms of dollars? And if I save, whatever the number is, $1,000 a day in terms of expenses, and that's $52,000 a year, can I hire a really, skookum young person-ish to maybe help me manage my store? I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it's
I do.
figure it out though.
Yep.
But I think if you don't start looking soon, I don't know. Again, it's just what I appeared. I looked, I thought, yeah, you're right. There's a lot less people. See those 4 people there? That's almost 500 stores.
Yeah, I mean, when you go, when you go to these shows, I guess that's the other part of this, right? Is like, so if you've got, where you 100 people representing themselves, and now you've got 5
represented the same 100
yeah, or more
stores, or same store count.
What do you do with these
or more
shows, right? Yeah. What do you do with these shows now? Do you wind up sending the same contingent? Do you
well, you start to question what do you do with the show?
Yeah. Do you find them a whole lot earlier than just not bother coming to the show, right? Like,
I don't know, and
that's to all 5 people.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Like for the industry, but you start to wonder. I mean, I don't do I really need to be here?
Yep. Do all of us need to be? Like, how many people came out with you this time?
Well, we had 4 10s, 4 10 by 10s.
4 10 by 10 booths. So 4 10 feet.
We have two vendors took a booth each.
Okay.
The other 2 split a booth.
Right.
So in essence, everybody got a booth. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us, 7 of us.
Okay. Yeah. So you look at that and you go, okay, so each booth, couple of grand each, right? Conservatively, right? And then you're looking
flights,
at flights, hotels, and then hotels and meals, and and then the prep work, right? Like, because
prep work, the time away.
You're prepping like 4 weeks ahead of time for the show. You got to print materials. You got to figure out swag. You got to figure out booths. All that kind of stuff, right? So. Yeah.
Again, I think you can make a valid story. I think you can make a valid story for a positive return. I don't think that's the issue, and I don't think people should be bailing out of the show.
No,
but I think you really need to sit down and start thinking through.
Yeah, there's there's definitely a thought for, like, especially when you get down to, look, if it really was like 100 people, 100 stores, now it's like 5 people for 10,000 stores. Even if I can get to 3 of those people early, before the show, after the show, right? And you're having conversations. Do I need to come? There's 2 more left. maybe I catch them next time, or maybe I just work the lead other
Yeah.
ways, right? Like,
No, that we're a ways away from that because again,
Yeah.
you know, we're talking that it's less, but there still may be, you know, 2,500 people to do the show,
Yeah.
5,000. I don't know what the number is.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Anaheim, there's still 85, 90,000 people doing the show.
Yeah.
In terms of things. But even down there, if down there's even worse, because now you got guys coming to represent 5,000 stores, 10,000 stores.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, if you're sitting there as a vendor, if I can land one of them,
Yeah.
you know how much time I just saved myself?
Yeah. It's an interesting. I mean, you know, what we're talking about is not new. I think people have wondered this about shows for a long time, but there are. I think every show has a point where they start to wind down. You realize, like, oh, this show's done, right? Like maybe a couple of years left, and then this show's gone. Yeah. We're not suggesting this for a CHFA, but
no. And I think the CHFA is as a body and as a group and as a function on representing the natural health industry and making sure that, you know, someone's liaison with government so they're not doing stupid things.
Yeah.
We can get cool products into our country. So it's not just drug companies and big food companies that dictate the path.
Yeah.
That's why I love this industry and why the show to me is really important, because it shows me that there's a lot of really cool, innovative people out there, both sides, the retail and the manufacturing, that want to do some shit. If this was, the majors can't do a show. Because there'd be like six vendors and none of us cared anything about them. I couldn't give a shit what Kraft is doing.
Right.
I don't give a shit what Procter & Gamble's doing. I don't give a shit what your old J&J's doing. I really don't. Who cares?
Yeah.
There's no innovation in these people.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Innovation comes from the little guys. All of it.
Yeah.
Big guys don't innovate. They steal and they buy.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where I guess that's my worry, is that I don't want the organization to go away. I don't want the show to go away. But if you don't start looking at it from a much higher level, it's going to go away.
Yeah.
Because it's going to die because nobody nurtured it to live.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. A lot of sense. Man. So you got the show today?
Show, Mo. Phil, it's like Phil's philosophy. What's on Modern Family?
But, you know, it's important, right? Like, you know, like day-to-day entrepreneurs, like you're worried about keeping the doors open, you're keeping the lights on, but you got to step back and look at this stuff, right? Like, because it is, I think it's one of the hardest things for entrepreneurs is, you know, when you work for a big company, theoretically there are people who are better paid than you, who have more time than you, who sit in great big offices, who think about this stuff, right?
That's what they're supposed to be doing.
Theoretically, right? But for entrepreneurs, you're that guy too, right? Like you've got to do the day-to-day, and then you've got to worry about where is all this stuff going, right? Like, because if I keep showing up for shows and people stop coming to the show, I am going to find myself in a place where, like, holy crap, nobody carries my stuff because I'm talking to people who are not relevant to me, right? Like, you know, so there's definitely, it's definitely something to, you know, you got to worry about, right? Like, you know, so this stuff is big, right? Like, you know, how do you keep your eye on, I mean, we're going to do this at Global Pet, right? Is like trying to get people like, look, you got to look right down your nose and figure out today and tomorrow, but then you got to think about like 8 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, right? Like you got to do all of that, right? So,
well, I think that, you know, and I think, you know, like when you look at what we're going to be trying to do, Global Pet, excuse me, is, you know, when you're talking, I'm going to do mine, and you're talking about SKU rats, or you're talking about how to look at your store. It's all intertwined into this. Yeah. Right? Like all of this has to be done because you have to start taking, you've got to get out of the neighborhood. Yeah. Like you stay in the neighborhood, but you got to be able to see outside of the neighborhood. Yeah. And it's funny because my boss yesterday was asking, how do you feel? And I said, I'm tired. And he goes, well, it's a show. I said, but Rich, I really don't do much of the show, right? I'm not here to sell per se. No, they want me to. I said, but really, I'm here to in theory, what my role is in my head, or what I'll make the role to be, is I don't mind don't mind. I actually quite enjoy it. I'll manage the sales team and I'll do all that stuff. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think that the role that you want me to play is more the strategic and the thinking role. And I think I spent the whole day just thinking.
Yeah.
I think I exhausted myself by doing just thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you, man, I'm really prepared for this podcast because I've just been thinking.
Good Lord. Look what happens when Kenny thinks.
Well, this is scary.
I love it.
We got smoke coming out of the ears, or maybe the headphones are heating up.
Like, well, I can't see you on the screen anymore. It's like, holy crap. No, it's hilarious.
Yeah, so it's just, anyway, I guess a good show. Really good show.
Yeah.
Good peeps. Neat industry.
Any big trends that you saw?
No, not really.
Not this time.
It's kind of the same stuff that's been going on for the last little bit.
This isn't usually the show either. Like this is the, when you go to Natural Health
Expo's different.
West, right? It's probably where you see some of the bigger trends. I mean, there's a lot more people there, and then this is probably the smaller trade show where you kind of get stuff done, I would think, right?
It can be, and I think that's sort of, to me, that's what I would try to use this more as. Is it's a good way to probably see people that you don't normally see, and again, because a lot of them are small.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's still a lot of small people there. It's not that the whole show's now just 3 guys.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you do get a chance to do things like that, but I mean, I know, but like Expo East was this weekend too in Baltimore.
Right.
Right. And my understanding, the show was good, but definitively slower.
Yeah, I mean the East one is always smaller, right?
It always has been.
Yeah.
I think it's getting smaller.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Why? What's the relevance? Why would I go? Like, what am I doing there?
Yeah.
And I guess that's what these industries have to understand. The shows can't survive just because you want them to.
Yeah. Doesn't work that way.
No. Like, you need to provide some solid relevance.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I did notice here is that on Friday was most of the talks and the educational forums, and I was amazed at how many people were going to, like, when you go to, remember our old school show, like our old days of like True CPG.
Yep.
I don't know what classes you went to, but I know the ones I went to, and there sure weren't too many. Right? I mean, we'd go maybe to the keynote speaker because it would be someone cool like Hillary Clinton I saw one time, and all the big guns from Amazon one time. So it was cool, but quite frankly, I didn't like anything.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yet this industry, they're full. Really want to learn shit.
Yeah, they're full. They're full. Like even the Global Pet ones, all the ones that
Global Pet, same thing.
Like they're full. Like they're
packed.
Yeah.
But what does it show you? See, then you need to sit back as the small guy. You're going to this, and you're going to this education. But when I go click on your store to find you, and there's no web page, and there's nothing, well, fuck, what are you going to the show for?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to educate, but you're really going to force me to come into the store, which I can barely find online.
Yeah.
And again, you're looking for oil of oregano. It'd be great if your store came up. And I said, you know what? These people, I think they got their shit together. I can tell this isn't a canned article. Someone actually wrote this. Maybe I should go pop in. It's on the way home or whatever.
Yeah. I love it.
Anyways, it was good. So that's been
that
was my day.
Man, so you got a day left, and then you got travel home.
I've got I'll probably leave the show today around 4. My flight's at 7.
Okay.
Then I got to figure out how to get out there. Whether I'm just going to take an Uber or take the train, because I think I can walk to the train, right?
CHFA. Yeah. You walk
the tower
because you're at the convention center, right?
Yeah, downtown.
Yeah.
I think
so
you're
right beside the Union Station, where the it's actually indoor. You can walk indoor if you want, and
I probably don't have to go. Yeah, I probably don't even have to go outside practically, right?
No, yeah. And then Up Express is right there, and then that'll take you straight to the airport. It'll be faster than any Uber you can take.
Yeah, I got it, and cheaper too. So
yeah. Very cool.
So that's gonna be the That's the plan of attack for today. What are you doing today? Now that your day has already started, it's not even
My
Sunday morning.
day, I got a couple of things to do. So I got funny enough, there's a guy who's going to be speaking about NIMI at Pharma MES. So Pharma MES is like a very specific manufacturer, kind of show in Berlin this coming week. And so one of the pharma companies that uses us is speaking about us, but I have no idea what he's speaking about, which is making me a little crazy.
Yeah, I think I might want to know.
Yeah. So I've kind of reached out, and then my kind of last hurrah, because he wasn't answering me, was like, "Look, you got a week to go. Hopefully, you've got your materials together. Otherwise, call me because I can help you." And so he actually replied and went, "Hey, I could really use some help. I'm speaking about this," but he neglected to give me more details. Right? So I'm like, "All right." At least I got something to work with. So yeah, like, well, I got the title, like really.
It's
So,
better than nothing.
yeah, but he's based in Germany, so his day will start like 7 hours before mine does. So part of today will be me trying to figure out what the hell I send him. Literally me guessing what he's speaking about. So I'll try and send him some slides. And then I've got to review, like, I've got content. We did a bunch of interviews, and we shot some video footage. And so I've got to review all of that so I can get teams working on it, so I don't have to worry about it during the week.
Yeah.
So it's just getting. So it's like Sunday I'm starting, but it's really my Monday already. And then at home, I think this is a sign of age, but it's unlimited garbage day tomorrow. So I like finished my shed a couple of weeks ago, and I've got all this. My backyard looks like a hillbilly backyard because I've got crap lying around everywhere
on the street, and
So yeah. So you kind of leave stuff out, and they come and pick it all up. So
that's awesome.
So I'm doing that today too. So
That's
good mix of
like a real exciting day there, Phil.
It's like, what it's actually like. It'll be really good because it'll be, I'm going to get off with you. I'm going to read this article that my content writer wrote. So there's some brain work in it. I'll be able to take a break, go outside and do some serious grunt work and use my muscles and drag stuff out. And then, that gives me a nice break. So when I come back in and start thinking about, my brain's already thinking about what content I need to make. But it allows me to just stop and let my brain process what I want to do with it. So when I come back in, I'll be tired but focused, and then kind of do that and mix it up, right? So it's kind of I like it. These are the sort of days that I really like, because you're not like sitting at a laptop and grinding all day,
right?
But there are a lot of really good like physical moments to kind of help you stretch out your brain, right? So
your brain needs a break too.
That's good. Yeah, for sure.
Right,
for sure.
Enough.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool, buddy.
All right, very cool, man.
I'm gonna close my eyes for half an hour. I got a 9 o'clock meeting.
There we
go.
Take a nap, man. Yeah, thanks for seriously. Thanks for.
Thank you. I mean, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah,
and I wanted to do it after the show instead of before.
Yeah.
Just in case there was something interesting to talk about.
Yeah. Which there was. Yeah, awesome. Very cool. Awesome.
Okay, my friend, you have an awesome day.
You too.
We'll clean your yard, garage, and whatever else shit you're doing.
Safe trip home.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we'll chat with you later this week.
Yeah. You got it.
Sounds good, buddy.
Ciao, buddy.
Man. Take care.
Bye.
Ciao.
All right. That's the end of this Commerce Life. We'll be back soon with the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Subscribe, like us, join us, share us, tell your friends about us. And we hope to see you next time with more commerce news.